College student Anna, seeking revenge, disguised herself as a seductive dancer to get close to Edward. She deliberately tossed her handkerchief toward him, hoping to catch his attention. Unexpectedly, Edward openly told her in front of everyone that her actions were cheap and then walked away indifferently. Furious, Anna tried every trick and persona from romance novels to seduce Edward, but nothing worked on him. It turned out that Anna's real motive was revenge. Edward's niece, Bess, had stolen her boyfriend, Jack. Relying on the fact that she had a powerful uncle, Bess acted recklessly and without restraint. Anna swore to make Bess call her aunt. One day, in the midst of her frustration, Anna wasn't paying attention to the traffic light and was hit by a car. Edward immediately got out to check on her and took her to the hospital. When Anna woke up, Edward directly offered her compensation. However, when she realized it was Edward who had hit her, she saw an opportunity. She pretended to have amnesia from the accident and fully immersed herself in the role of the female lead from the novel she had been reading before the crash. Hugging Edward, she called him Big Brother, shocking both him and his grandmother. The doctor suggested that the best way to help Anna recover was for Edward to act out the novel's storyline with her. Edward immediately refused, but his grandmother's eyes lit up. Edward was already 30 and had never been in a relationship. Seeing Anna as a good match, she forced Edward to take Anna home. Anna's eyes sparkled as she looked at Edward, hoping he would carry her off the car, but Edward immediately turned and walked away. She quickly chased after him and intentionally fell into his arms. The close contact made Edward's heart race. On the other hand, Anna thought she had fooled everyone, but little did she know that Edward's grandmother had already investigated her thoroughly. The grandmother came to Anna's room and directly exposed her lie. Just as Anna was thinking about how to get out of the situation, the grandmother unexpectedly offered to keep her secret and even help her win over her grandson. And so, the two formed an alliance. Meanwhile, Edward was frustrated about having to play along with this whole act, but when Anna suddenly appeared before him in an elegant outfit, his heart couldn't help but skip a beat. Under his grandmother's push, Edward once again found himself in close proximity to Anna. Panicking, he quickly excused himself, saying he had to go to work. However, Anna immediately said she also wanted a job, and his grandmother directly arranged for her to become a director at Me Entertainment, a position originally reserved for Bess. Edward firmly objected, but Anna put on a pitiful act, her teary eyes filled with grievance, leaving him no choice but to give in. At the company's banquet, Bess confidently announced that she would be taking on the role of director and introduced her boyfriend, Jack, claiming he would be the company's future top star. Just then, Anna made a stunning entrance, capturing everyone's attention. Bess and Jack immediately mocked and humiliated her, but Anna swiftly countered, putting them in their place. Afterward, Anna walked up to the stage, took her seat, and declared to the audience she was the real director of the company. Bess was still convinced that Anna was lying, but Anna pulled out a photo proving that she was with Edward. Just then, Edward appeared, and Anna immediately softened her demeanor, walked up to him, and left with him, leaving Bess and Jack furious. That day, Anna ordered takeout but pretended she had cooked the meal herself and brought it to Edward. Unexpectedly, Edward, annoyed, turned her away. However, Anna gazed at him with her big, tearful eyes, making his heart skip a beat. That day, Anna told her best friend about her situation with Edward, shocking her. Her friend then introduced her to a lawyer to help with her brother's case. That evening, Edward waited for Anna to return, but when she didn't, he went to look for her. Seeing her with an unfamiliar man, Edward immediately became jealous and forcibly took her home. He angrily scolded her, telling her not to stay out late and, more importantly, not to interact with strange men. Anna put on a pitiful expression and explained that she had come back late because she was buying a gift for him. She then added that if he disliked her so much, she would just leave. As expected, this tactic still worked. Edward immediately apologized, begged her to stay, and even gave her $500,000 as compensation. That night, Anna noticed a call on Edward's phone from Ashley, her classmate, who was notorious for bullying others. Without hesitation, Anna answered the call and pretended to be Edward's girlfriend. The next day, when Bess and Ashley were gossiping about Anna behind her back, she suddenly appeared and fiercely countered them. She boldly stated that Edward had no feelings for Ashley and that he was with her now. Noticing that Edward was looking at her, Anna instantly switched to a fragile, innocent expression. Seeing her being bullied, Edward immediately warned Bess and Ashley not to lay a finger on his person. Later, he even offered to take her out to cheer her up. That day, Anna took her best friend to visit her company, only to unexpectedly run into her ex-boyfriend, Jack. It turned out that Edward had agreed to let Jack continue as the company's brand ambassador. Anna immediately went to Edward, trying to persuade him not to work with Jack because of his messy personal life. However, Edward didn't care and simply asked her where his lunch was. Just then, Anna received a call from her best friend, who told her that Jack was planning to meet a fan alone at a hotel that night. Anna quickly made up an excuse and left. That evening, her best friend disguised herself as a man to make things easier. However, as soon as they entered the hotel, they were caught by Edward. Not wanting to expose the fact that she hadn't actually lost her memory, Anna instinctively pushed her best friend away. Faced with Edward's anger, she casually lied, saying that the person just now was someone she had met online. The next day, Anna tried to cheer Edward up, but he continued to ignore her. That night, she went to a KTV club to find him, only to see him getting close to another woman. Heartbroken, she drowned her sorrows in alcohol. Her best friend asked if she had fallen for Edward, but she firmly denied it. Seeing Anna completely drunk, her best friend had no choice but to call Edward to pick her up. Edward arrived, carried her home, and gently placed her on the bed, only for Anna to suddenly bite his neck. She angrily accused him of deliberately ignoring her, then broke into tears, saying she was afraid he would abandon her. As Anna nestled in his arms, Edward could no longer hold back. Just as he was about to kiss her, his grandmother, hearing the commotion, entered the room. At that moment, Edward instantly snapped back to reality. Edward's assistant reported that they had found Anna's old phone. If Edward opened it, their relationship would come to an end. However, Edward hesitated. He had already grown used to having her by his side. At noon, Anna brought lunch for Edward, but he deliberately avoided her. She chased after him, asking what was wrong, and even pulled him in for a photo. At that moment, she accidentally fell into his arms. But instead of letting go, Edward held her even tighter. Anna couldn't help but wonder, had he fallen for her? That night, Edward finally opened the phone and saw a public announcement photo of Anna and her boyfriend. Jealousy surged through him, but in the end, he still chose to stay by her side, taking care of her as her brother. Edward wanted to take Anna home, but she suddenly spotted her biological brother waiting outside the company for her. Panicked, she quickly made an excuse for Edward to leave first before going to meet her brother. Her brother warned her to end this relationship as soon as possible, or Edward would never let her go. Meanwhile, Edward grew impatient waiting for Anna to return home and went out to look for her. When he saw her with an unfamiliar man, his jealousy flared up, and he immediately taught the guy a lesson. Back at home, Edward pinned Anna against the wall and murmured in a low voice that he no longer wanted to be her brother, then kissed her. Anna was utterly shocked and instinctively pushed him away. The next morning, Edward gazed at her with deep affection, but Anna, feeling flustered, quickly avoided his eyes and left. Worried that she might distance herself from him, Edward gathered his company employees to brainstorm ways to win Anna's heart. In the following days, Edward created every possible opportunity to get close to Anna. He deliberately let her see him showering and even insisted on holding her while sleeping. However, Anna only grew more distant from him. Determined, Edward finally decided to confess his feelings to her. But just then, Anna's brother suddenly appeared with a DNA test, proving that he was her biological brother and taking her away. Seeing this, Edward made one last attempt to keep her. He sent Anna a message asking her to meet him, and despite everything, Anna couldn't bring herself to leave him. In the end, she went back to see him. That night, Anna's brother texted her, asking if she had fallen in love with Edward. Anna firmly denied it, saying that she was only using Edward as a tool to get revenge on Bess and Jack. However, She accidentally sent the message to Edward instead. Thinking she had retracted it in time, she didn't worry, until she realized Edward had already read it. Enraged, Edward confronted her. Only then did Anna finally admit that she had been using him all along and promised to return everything to him. But Edward simply pinned her down, kissed her deeply, and told her that the only thing he wanted was her. That night, Anna gave herself to Edward. The next morning, when she woke up, Edward was nowhere to be found. What she didn't know was that he was busy preparing a proposal for her. When she arrived at the venue, Bess and Ashley publicly humiliated her, saying she was delusional and unworthy of Edward. They even resorted to violence. Just then, Edward appeared, giving them a harsh lesson. He pulled Anna into his arms, confessed his love for her, and slipped a proposal ring onto her finger. May you also find the leading man in your own story.